Okay, good morning, everyone. So, this is the video recording or the recorded discussion of acute biologic crisis. Okay, so ano nga ba yung acute biologic crisis na tinatawag? Ano po? Pag sinabi nating acute biologic crisis, this is a sudden severe medical condition that requires immediate attention. Bakit? Ano po? Because these conditions may result to death if left unattended. Pwede pong ikamatay agad-agad kapag hindi naagapan. Ano po? These kaya nga sinabing crisis, di ba? Ano po? Kaya nga siya sinabing crisis. Oo. Because this is life-threatening. Nakakamatay. Ano po? And kaya siya sinabing acute kasi this is sudden onset. Mm. Mabilisan. Ano po? Biglaan. Ayan. So, what are the topics under acute biologic crisis? Actually, there are many topics, but for now, ang una nating pag-uusapan will be acute respiratory failure. Ano po? We have your acute respiratory failure, then acute respiratory distress syndrome, then pleural effusion, and the last one is myocardial infarction. Madami sila, but I chose these four topics because ito yung mga topic na usually lumalabas or madalas ilabas sa board exam, the nursing boards. If we have the time, I will send more videos of other acute biologic crisis. But for now, ito na muna. Okay? So, unang-una pag-uusapan natin the human respiratory system. This is a brief review of your anatomy and physiology of the respiratory system. Bakit ito kailangan? Kasi po, mas madaling maintindihan ng isang sakit kapag alam natin yung mga organs involved and their functions. 'Di ba? Don't worry, it's not an elaborate discussion. Brief review lang tayo. Okay? So, in the human respiratory system, we have your trachea or your windpipe. Ito siya. Ano po? This acts as your passageway of air. Ano po? In and out of the lungs. Then next, you have your the lungs itself. You have the upper lobe and the lower lobe. You have your heart. Oh, ano nga ulit ang function ng heart? This is your major pumping organ of the body. Ano po? It ensures proper blood circulation is ongoing 24/7. Ano po? Then you have your diaphragm. The diaphragm is an accessory respiratory muscle. Ano po? It relaxes and contracts in order to what? In order to facilitate ventilation or respiration in the body. Then next we have the bronchus. Bronchus is the airway. Ano po? A passageway of air within your lungs. Ano po? Then you have your alveoli. Ayan, or your air sacs. Ayan. Then ensuring the perfusion, you have your pulmonary veins and pulmonary arteries. Your pulmonary veins, this brings what? This one brings oxygenated blood towards your heart. Ayan. Di ba, um, ang pulmonary veins and arteries po, kabaliktaran sila ng function sa veins and arteries all throughout our body. Oo, baliktad. Bakit? Iba yung veins natin, it brings unoxygenated blood towards our heart. Oo. Pag pulmonary vein po, it brings oxygenated blood towards our heart. Same with the pulmonary artery. Pag pulmonary artery, it brings what? It brings unoxygenated blood towards the lungs. ano po, or towards our alveoli. Ayan. As compared to the arteries in our body, the arteries, they bring oxygenated blood towards the body. Diba? Away from the heart. So, yun ang difference nila. Then, within the alveoli, ano po? Within the alveoli, here we have your alveolar wall. The alveolar wall is composed of two types of pneumocytes. So, two types of pneumocytes. We have the type 1. Type 1 is a simple epithelial cells. Epithelial cells. So these type 1 pneumocytes, this ensures proper and easy diffusion. Diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide, ayan, between the alveoli and capillaries. Ayan. So that is the function of the type 1 pneumocytes. On the other hand, the type 2 pneumocytes, these are what? These are cuboidal cells. Cuboidal cells that secretes surfactant. And kung maaalala nyo, the function of lung surfactants, these are what? These eases the tension, the surface tension within the alveoli, preventing the alveoli to collapse. Ano, para hindi sila magkadikitan. Ano po? Ayan. So here you have the alveolar wall, then you have the capillaries. You have the capillaries, ito. Of course, the capillaries contains the deoxygenated blood, and through diffusion, ano po, through diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide, the oxygen lodges to the blood, becoming it oxygenated, and of course, the deoxygenated blood would give off carbon dioxide, which will be absorbed by your alveoli. Ayan. So, palabas ngayon, diffusion of oxygen towards the blood. Then, yung carbon dioxide i-absorb ni alveoli para mailabas siya during exhalation. Ayan. So, ganun lang po ang dynamics sa loob ng alveoli natin. Ano po? Yan. So, pag-usapan na natin ngayon si acute respiratory failure. So, ano nga ba ang nangyayari sa acute respiratory failure? From the word acute, this is sudden in onset. Ano po? And respiratory failure. Remember that the most important function of respiratory system is to provide the body with oxygen and to remove carbon dioxide, di ba? Oo. So, yan kasing mga yan, it happens because of the teamwork of several organs or several systems actually. You have your what? You have your central nervous system or your CNS, particularly your brain. Bakit? Remember that your brain is the one that sends signal in order to what? In order to tell the organs of your body to function properly. Ano po? Oo, sila ang nagti-trigger, sila ang nagsisend ng mga signal sa organs ng katawan natin. Ano po? Kaya nga, siya ang brain. Then, pulmonary system. Pulmonary system. system, of course, it contains your what? Your lungs and everything, your alveoli, the ventilation and perfusion, nandyan. Then your heart and your vascular system. Ayan. These all work as a team. Ano po, excuse me. So, they work as a team. So, it means that if one or more of these fail to maintain optimal function, respiratory failure occurs. So, ma'am, paano naman nangyayari yun? Ano ba kasing meron sa respiratory failure? Ano po? Respiratory failure occurs when there is a failure of gas exchange. Kapag walang gas exchange, it can be either be may problema sa oxygen, may problema sa carbon dioxide level, or parehas. Ano po? So, anong mangyayari kapag may problema sa gas exchange? Ang mangyayari po is that the normal cellular functioning is at risk or compromised. Ayan. Yun po ang simple pathophysiology ng ano yan? Simple pathophysiology ng respiratory failure. So, here we have two types of respiratory failure. Ano po? Ayan. Sa type 1, we have the hypoxemic respiratory failure. This occurs when the PaO2 or the arterial pressure of oxygen is less than 60 millimeter mercury. Pressure di ba? Kaya millimeter mercury tayo. Yan. Ibig sabihin, there is not enough oxygen in the blood. To perfuse tissues. Ayan. Mababa po yung oxygen level ng blood natin. Ano po? Sa type 2 naman, we call it hypercapnic. Ayan. Hypercapnic because the level of the arterial pressure of carbon dioxide is more than 50 millimeter mercury. Oo. Remember, kapag ganito, it means that there is a build-up. Build-up of carbon dioxide. Ayan. And remember, your carbon dioxide is acidic in nature. Ano po? So, pag mataas ang carbon dioxide, it will what? It will alter the pH of your blood, making it more acidic. Ano po? So, the pH now will be less than 7.3. Ano po? Kapag ganito, remember that the target normal of your carbon dioxide and oxygen may vary from patient to patient. Ano po, hindi sila pare-parehas. It is highly individualized. Like for example, your COPD patient. O kapag COPD patient, 'di ba, we give only minimal oxygen. 'Di ba? Because you want to maintain the respiratory drive of the patient. Kapag masyadong mataas po ang oxygen level ng pasyenteng ito, hindi siya hihinga. Ano po? Magkakaroon siya ng apnea, respiratory arrest. So, what are the 4 categories or broad categories depending on the pathophysiology of kapag classify natin? ang respiratory failure. Kasi ang respiratory failure kasi, acute respiratory failure, it can either be pulmonary or extrapulmonary in nature. So, in classification, we've had 4 broad categories. We have your impaired ventilation or hypoventilation. Ibig sabihin may problema sa paghinga ng pasyente. Ano po? It can be impaired gas exchange, airway obstruction, or ventilation perfusion mismatch. Ayan. Unahin natin yung impaired ventilation. So, in the impaired ventilation, or hypoventilation, may problema po sa paghinga ng pasyente. Remember that ventilation is what? Is the process of moving air in and out of the lungs. 'Di ba? What is the aim of ventilation? Of course, it is to deliver oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Ayan. So, bakit importante ang ventilation? Because our body requires physical movement of air driven by muscle contraction. Ano po? Ayan, imagine if the air within your lungs is simply on a standstill, hindi siya gumagalaw, hindi tayo makaka-inhale ng oxygen, hindi din tayo makakapag-breathe out ng carbon dioxide, 'di ba? So, kapag nagkaroon ng impairment yung muscle contraction natin, muscle contraction. Ang muscle contractions na dito is the ventilatory muscles, ha? Muscle contraction kapag may impairment, it will lead to what? Retention of carbon dioxide and eventually hypoxemia. Ayan. So, yan po, simple pathophysiology kung anong nangyayari. Ano po? So, what are the abnormalities that might cause? Ano po? Ano yung mga abnormalities? That might cause impaired ventilation. Number 1, we might have neurologic depression. Neurologic depression. Remember that it is your brain that sends signals to your organs, or to the organs of the body in order for them to function properly. So pag nagka-problema si brain, nagsabi si brain na okay lungs, chill ka lang muna, huwag ka na munang masyadong huminga. Ayan. Problema pala yon. So what are the causes of neurologic depression? It can be because of medications. Medications such as CNS depressants. Then it can be because of drug overdose. Ano pa? Anesthesia. Bakit? Kaya nga 'di ba kapag post-surgery ang pasyente, the patient received general anesthesia, usually or ideally, standard procedure po na after or during recovery, we should provide incentive spirometry for the patient. Bakit? In order for the patient to exercise deep breathing exercise after surgery. Ayan. Kasi i-expect natin na nag-receive ng anesthesia ang pasyente, masusupress yung paghinga or na-suppress yung paghinga ng pasyente. And in order to exercise that, we will give incentive spirometer. Ano po? Then, next is what? Head injuries. Head injuries, stroke, strokes, and anything that can increase the intracranial pressure of the patient. Number two is what? Your nerve impairment. Your nerve impairment, bakit? Ano po? Kasama dyan ang spinal cord injury. Spinal cord injury. Oo, particularly your C4 and above. Bakit? Diyan po matatagpuan ang phrenic nerve. Phrenic nerve. Oo. And ano bang ano? Ano nga yung inaano ng phrenic nerve? Oh, this is the one or this is the nerve that controls your diaphragm. Diba? And remember that your diaphragm is a very important accessory muscles or ventilatory muscle. Ano po? And aside from that, it can be caused of inflammation, or diseases. Ano po? Such as what? Your myasthenia gravis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, ano pa? ALS. Hmm. And it can also be because of neuromuscular blocking agent. Neuromuscular blocking agents. Number three, it can be because of fatigue. Napagod na siya kaya hindi na siya makahinga ng maayos. It can be because of chest wall injury. And number five, it can be because of atrophy. Ayan. So those are abnormalities that can be, that can cause impaired ventilation. Hindi makahinga ang pasyente. Ano po? Next is what? Impaired gas exchange. Ayan. So kung mapapansin nyo, we have here a structure of alveolus of human lungs. Ayan. Hello? Sorry, nawalan ng internet bigla. Nawalan ng... So, next we will be talking about the impaired gas exchange. Impaired gas exchange. Okay? So, remember that gas exchange is what? Gas exchange is dependent on proper functioning of alveolar capillary membrane. Ayan. So, any impairment, kapag nagkaroon ng impairment, ay, ulitin natin. Gas exchange. So, gas exchange is dependent on proper functioning of alveolar capillary membrane. Ayan. So, kapag nagkaroon ng impairment, po itong alveolar capillary membrane na ito, it will lead to what? It will lead to for the oxygen and carbon dioxide to be unable to cross freely. Ano po? Ayan. Ibig sabihin, hindi makakadaan ang carbon dioxide and oxygen dito sa membrane ng alveoli or alveolus and the capillary. Ano po? So, ano yung mga possible causes? Ano yung possible causes ng impairment na ito? It can be what? Dito natin. It can be because of ano yan? Direct damage or direct membrane damage. Laki naman kasi. Yan. Direct membrane damage. Yan. Ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ng problema po dito sa membrane ng mga membrane ng alveolus at ng capillary natin. Of course, hindi na makakadaan ng maayos or there won't be proper diffusion of the gases. Diba? Yan. Next, it can be what? Collection of fluids. Collection of fluids in the alveoli. Ayan. Bakit? Kapag po nagkaroon ng fluids sa loob ng alveoli natin, napuno siya ng tubig, ibig sabihin hindi na ngayon makakadaan si carbon dioxide and oxygen. Bakit? There's already H2O doon. So, hindi na ngayon siya malulunod na siya, 'di ba? From within. So, next. Ano pa? Ano pa mga possible reasons? Next is collection of fluid. Ayan. Collection of fluid in the interstitial space. Yan. Ma'am, saan po ang interstitial space? Ano po? The interstitial space is the space between the alveoli or the alveolus membrane and the capillary membrane. Yan pong puting yan. Ito. Kuwasan natin yung pen, please. Ito pong andito. Yan. Oo. Yung puting yan, that is what we call the interstitial membrane. Ayan. At kapag nagkaroon po ng tubig diyan, it became edematous, ayan, or there is a collection of fluid in there, of course, there will be impaired gas exchange. Bakit? There is an obstruction. May tubig na naman, 'di ba? Ayan. Hindi na makakapass through si carbon dioxide and oxygen. Oh. Then, next will be, erase. Next will be what? Collapse of the alveoli. Hmm. Bakit? Ninipis na ngayon yung ano niya. Ninipis na ito. Ito na lang siya. Oo. So, hindi na ngayon, wala nang ano dyan, wala nang space para makapasok at lumabas si oxygen and carbon dioxide. Kasi nag-collapse na siya, di ba? O, kailan dyan mangyayari kapag nag-collapse ang alveoli? Kapag na-damage po, pati si type 2 pneumocytes natin. Bakit? Remember that your type 2 pneumocytes are the ones responsible for secreting lung surfactants. Ayan. Okay? So, ang mangyayari ngayon, there will be perfusing alveoli that cannot exchange gases. 'Di ba? May perfusion. Bakit? Yung capillaries, ongoing pa rin naman yung blood circulation doon. Ano po, there is still the presence of blood within the capillaries. The problem is, the oxygen and carbon dioxide cannot pass through dito sa, ano yan, dun sa mga membrane natin. There's no gas exchange. So, kapag nangyari yon, ano po, there will be what? There will be a presence of pulmonary shunt. Pulmonary shunt. Oo. Bakit? There is positive perfusion without gas exchange. So, ang mangyayari kapag nagkaroon ng pulmonary shunt, ano po, it will what? It will allow unoxygenated or deoxygenated blood to reach the left side of the heart. And eventually, the rest of the body. And then, respiratory failure occurs. Ayan. So, what are the abnormalities that can cause this? Ano po? Ayan, may perfusion pero walang gas exchange. Ano ang possible na mangyayari kapag ganon? Ano po? So, what are the abnormalities that can occur? Oh, wait lang. Erase natin to para karoon tayo ng space na susulatan. Ayan. So, for the abnormalities, it can be because of inhalation of toxic gases, or aspiration of gastric contents. Ayan. It can be because of pneumonia, sepsis, ARDS, ayan, pulmonary edema, pag pulmonary edema, it can be cardiogenic, and non-cardiogenic. Yeah. It can also be because of pneumothorax. And pleural effusion. And sinabi naman natin kanina, lung collapse, di ba? Anong tawag dun? Atelectasis. Ayan. So, all of these, ayan, all of these can cause impaired gas exchange. Ayan, impaired gas exchange leading to respiratory failure. Ayan. So, sunod nating pag-usapan is airway obstruction. Airway obstruction. Ayan. Pag sinabi nating airway obstruction, there is an obstruction of airflow through the airways. Ano po? Obstruction. Hindi makadaan ang hangin. Ayan, sa loob ng airways natin. Through airways. Ayan. So, anong mangyayari? Kapag hindi nakadaan ang hangin sa loob ng airways natin, it prevents the flow into the lungs. And kapag hindi naabot ng hangin ang lungs natin, it will lead into hypoventilation of alveoli. So, wala ngayong oxygen na makakapasok sa alveoli, wala ding makakalabas na carbon dioxide sa alveoli natin. So, yun po ang problema sa airway obstruction. So, what are the abnormalities that can cause airway obstruction? It can be airway wall thickening, ayan, like for example, your edema, or fibrosis. Ibig sabihin, nagtithicken ito. Nagtithicken ito. Diba? Ayan. Nagtithicken. Kapag nagthicken yan, liliit ang airway, di ba? Oh. Then, constriction. Airway wall constriction. Oh, like for example, in your asthma or COPD. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Yeah. Then, you have your blockage. It can be, ibig sabihin, nabara. Ano po, may nakabarang something. Ayan. May nakabara dito sa loob. Ayan, it can be there, here, there, everywhere. Ayan. It can be what? It can be foreign body. As in, during choking. Secretions. Pag may ubot-sipon tayo, like in pneumonia. Ayan. PTB. Can be fluid. Ayan. Fluid during drowning or near drowning incidences. Ayan. Or aspiration. Diba? Oh. Aside from blockage, it can also be because of compression. Ayan. Kapag may tumors, like in lung cancer, oh, enlarged lymph nodes, or interstitial edema. And of course, hindi mawawala ang strangulation. Sinakal ka o namatay ka sa respiratory failure. Bakit? Because of airway obstruction. Ayan. Bakit? Kapag nangyari itong lahat ng ito, ano po? Remember that less availability of air will lead to hypoventilation. Ganun lang kadali yan intindihin. Diba? So, next you have your ventilation-perfusion mismatch. Ventilation, perfusion, mismatch. Or your VQ mismatch. V for ventilation and Q for perfusion. Ayan. Because remember that there must be a proper balance of ventilation, paghinga. Ayan. Pag sinabing ventilation, paghinga. Ano po? Ayan, ventilation of air to and from the alveoli and proper perfusion. Pag sinabing perfusion, ano? Pag sinabing perfusion, yung daloy ng dugo. Ayan. Bakit hindi na ako nakakaan? Ayan. Pag perfusion, daloy ng dugo. Dalog. Daloy ng dugo. Ayan. Perfusion of blood to the capillaries. Ano po? Ayan. Dapat balance yung dalawang yan. Kailan sila hindi balance? We have two situations wherein nagkakaroon tayo ng ventilation-perfusion mismatch. First is yung tinatawag nating shunt. Nabanggit ko na to kanina. It means that there is good perfusion without ventilation. Ayan. Of alveoli. Kailan to nangyayari? Kapag may impaired gas exchange, and obstruction. It can also happen in pulmonary AV fistula or intracardiac shunt. Number 2, it can happen in dead space. Ito yung pangalawang situation natin. Ano po? The dead space or physiologic dead space. Physiologic dead space. Excuse me. Oh. Ano ba na? Nagising yung anak ko. Ayan. It means that there is good ventilation without perfusion. Kailan to nangyayari? Nangyayari ito kapag merong shock. The patient is in a state of shock. Ayan. Humihinga siya pero yung blood circulation niya impaired. Ano po? Pulmonary edema. Pulmonary edema. Pulmonary embolism, sorry. Pulmonary embolism. Or clotting. Ayan. Sige. So, ano yan? Those are the two situations wherein the ventilation and perfusion might be mismatched. Ayan. How about the presentation? In the presentation, okay, or the clinical manifestations of this disease, ayan, paano natin malalaman na meron palang respiratory failure ang isang tao? Ano po? In the presentation, the patient might have dyspnea or tachypnea. Kapag humihinga siya, the patient might be seen using his accessory muscles. Because of acidosis, the patient might be having diaphoresis. Then, of course, since in acute respiratory failure, mababa na ang level ng oxygen and increased level of carbon dioxide might cause CNS problems. No? Makikita natin yan sa restlessness. Irritable. O kaya, tingnan nyo yung mga kasama nyo sa bahay. O baka may acute respiratory failure niyan, palaging irritable. Irritable. Ano pa? Confused. Confused and ano pa? There is anxiety. They might have pallor or cyanosis. Tachycardia. This is compensatory mechanism, di ba? And kapag hindi kinaya, the patient might develop arrhythmias. Ano pa? Headache. Altered level of consciousness. Ayan. And abnormal breath sounds. Ayan. Okay? So, ma'am, paano natin malalaman? Paano natin malalaman or madadiagnose ito? Ano po? How are we going to be sure that the patient is really experiencing acute respiratory failure? Ano po? We will know that through diagnosis. Yan. Siyempre, da-diagnose natin ang pasyente. Ano po? How? So, of course, we will be doing the ABG or arterial blood gas. Arterial blood gas. Ayan. Oo. Yan po ang pinakaunang gagawin ng doktor natin. Ano po? Mag-order siya ng ABG. Of course, in the ABG, with the result, titingnan natin yung arterial pressure of oxygen. Ang mangyayari, makikita natin is less than 60 millimeter mercury. Then, the arterial pressure of carbon dioxide, it will be more than 50. Ayan, 50 millimeter mercury. 50 millimeter mercury. Then the pH level, since kung mataas masyado ang level ng carbon dioxide, remember that your carbon dioxide is highly acidic. So, mababa ngayon ang pH level ng dugo natin. It will only be 7.3. And of course, since respiratory failure nga, di ba, there will be oxygen saturation of less than 90%. Ayan. So, yun po ang lalabas sa ABG natin. So, how do we verify the underlying cause? Oh. To verify the underlying cause, of course, the doctor will order for chest x-ray. It can be 2D echo. Kasi pwedeng heart problem pala yung problema, di ba? Kaya siya nagkaroon ng respiratory failure. ECG, then bronchoscopy. The doctor might order for cultures. Anong cultures? Sputum culture, blood culture, and urine culture. Ayan. For the labs, they will order CBC, electrolytes, especially kapag may body weakness ang pasyente, lagi yan, electrolytes, and lactate. Yan. So much for the diagnosis. Ano po? So, then we will proceed to management. Ano po? In the management, usually it will be supportive measures and treatment of the underlying issues. Ayan. We have to be able to treat the underlying issues para po ma-resolve fully ang acute respiratory failure. Ano po, kailangan nating malaman kung ano ba ang cause, kung bakit nagkakaroon ng respiratory failure ang isang pasyente. Ano po? So, first and foremost, supportive measures muna tayo. We will be giving support oxygenation and ventilation to the patient. This one, ito po, the oxygenation and ventilation does not fix the underlying problem, but it buys time for the underlying problem to resolve. Ano po, para po hindi naman agad-agad mamatay yung pasyente natin. Mabigyan pa ng time ang doktor na gamutin ang talagang problema ng pasyente kung bakit siya nagkaroon ng respiratory failure. So, what would be the goal? Ano po in the management? Of course, the goal is to have or for the patient to have proper oxygenation. Siyempre, ang goal natin is mapataas yung arterial pressure of oxygen to be more than 60 millimeter mercury, 'di ba? Or achieve yung SpO2 of more than 90%. Ayan. So, then, of course, we want to improve ventilation. Kapag na-improve ang ventilation, may lalabas natin ang carbon dioxide sa body ng pasyente. So, the arterial pressure now of carbon dioxide should be less than 50 millimeter mercury. Ayan. Or the pH of more than 7.3. Diba? So, in the management, we have non-invasive support. So, sa non-invasive support, usually oxygen supplementation lang muna tayo. Ano po? Oxygen supplementation. Oh, non-invasive muna tayo. Anong kasama dito? Nasal cannula, O2 face mask or O2 mask. Ayan. It can be non-rebreather mask. Ano pa? High flow, nasal cannula. Oh, it can be your CPAP or your BiPAP. Ayan. Those are non-invasive support. Ano po? Ayan. Kapag hindi kinaya ng non-invasive support, that is the time that magkakaroon na tayo ng intubation or mechanical ventilation. So, intubation, bakit? Because intubating the patient gives us better airway management. Better airway management. If there are secretions, we can readily suction. Ganyan. If there is obstruction, we can what? We can visualize, and remove the obstruction. Ayan. And, ano yan, we will secure a patent airway for the patient through intubation. Ano po? Paano naman yung mechanical ventilation? Mechanical ventilation provides us proper ventilation. Proper ventilation. Lalo na kapag nahihirapan na talagang huminga yung pasyente, ano po, hindi siya makahinga. So, at least merong makina na hihinga para sa kanya. So, what are the indications for intubation? First, apnea. Ayan. Apnea or respiratory arrest. Yan, tumigil sa paghinga ang pasyente natin. Next is tachypnea. Tachypnea or very fast respiration. Respiratory rate of more than 30 cycles per minute. Ayan. Candidate na yan for intubation. Altered LOC if the patient becomes obtunded, lethargic, or the patient goes into coma. Ano po? GCS 7 below. Ayan. Or GCS 3. Yan. I-intubate na natin yan. Next is respiratory muscle fatigue. Ayan, kasi malamang sa malamang kapag sobrang pagod na po yung respiratory muscles natin, pwedeng bumigay yan and biglang tumigil huminga yung pasyente. Ano po? So in order for these muscles to relax and to give rest, we will intubate the patient. Next is hemodynamic instability. The doctor performed an ABG and the ABG was very bad. Oo. So, mag-i-intubate tayo. Then, refractory hypoxemia. Ibig sabihin, masyadong mababa ang oxygen level. And hypercapnia, masyadong mataas ang carbon dioxide. Ayan. Yan po ang indications for intubation. So, what are the goals of intubation? Tatlo lang naman ang goal natin. First is to correct hypoxemia. Manormalize yung oxygen level sa blood ng pasyente. Then, correct respiratory acidosis. Ibig sabihin, lungs. So, ibig sabihin, papababain natin yung carbon dioxide level sa blood ng pasyente. Ano po? Ayan. Because remember that your carbon dioxide is highly acidic. Ayan. Para hindi siya mag-acidosis, aalisin natin ang carbon dioxide. Ayan. And yung pangatlo, we want to what? We want to rest of ventilatory muscles. Ayan. I-rest natin yung ventilatory muscles. So, those are the goals of intubation. What about the other strategies? Ano po? Ano yung ibang strategies natin to help, to help manage in acute respiratory failure? First, we have proning. Pinapadapa natin ang pasyente. Ano po? Bakit? Proning is known to improve gas exchange. Improve gas exchange. Ayan. Because it reduces lung compression. Ayan. Proning. Pinapadapa natin ang pasyente. Next, we can administer pulmonary vasodilators. Of course, it has to be with doctor's prescription. Opo. So, it can be inhaled nitric oxide or inhaled prostaglandins. Okay? Then, the last strategy is through ECMO. Ma'am, ano ang ECMO? ECMO means extra corporeal membrane oxygenation. So you will be using a machine that will breathe for the patient. It involves a pump. Here, ito yung ano natin ha. This is an example of or an illustration of how an ECMO works. So, we will be making use of the major blood vessels of the patient. Ayan. So, securing the lines from the major blood vessels of the patient. Meron yan siyang pump. Oo, it will serve as like an external heart and to move the blood circulation. Then, an oxygenator wherein the gas exchange takes place. Kasi nga, di ba, hindi gumagana yung lungs ng pasyente. So, kukuha tayo ng machine na will serve as the lungs of the patient. Ano po? Then, kapag well oxygenated na yung blood, naalis na din natin ang carbon dioxide, yung blood na pong iyon ay ibabalik ulit natin sa blood circulation ng pasyente. Ayan, through another cannula to a major blood vessel ng pasyente. So, yan po ang ECMO na tinatawag. Okay? So, that ends the acute respiratory failure topic. So, gising na kasi ang baby ko. So, let's have a break for now. Another video will be posted for acute respiratory distress syndrome. Okay? Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.